Hello, my beautiful book besties. Thank you for stopping by in my cozy little corner of the internet. My name is Liv, and welcome to weekly vlogs. So glad to be saying that and so glad to finally be doing this. I have wanted to do weekly vlogs for a very long time, but I never felt like I was in the right place of my life to do them. But because I now work from home 3 out of the 5 days of the week, I feel like I have a little bit more time where I'm not out in public or at work to be able to chat with you guys. And this is something that I've wanted to do for a long time. You guys know I'm a perfectionist. I don't want to get super into detail again about that, but I just need to learn to let go of my perfectionism, and this is going to help me do that. I will say I'm not going to promise to do these videos every single week. I'm aiming for every Friday, but if for some reason I have a super busy week or I just have a lot more life stuff going on or other things that I need to put my priorities into, you probably won't see a vlog every single week, but for the most part, I'm hoping to at least do 2 weekly vlogs a month. I'm just going to be doing reading vlogs, book unboxings, book shopping, talking about life, talking about Jesus. Whatever is going on in my life, I just feel like I'm being called to be more vulnerable and more open so that you guys can do the same with me. I know that the world is a hard place. Being human is hard, and sometimes we reach to YouTube and the internet for community because some of us don't have that in our real lives. And if I can be that person or that friend that you need and relate to, I am here. I'm here for the weekly vlogs. My DMs are always open. My comments are open. I feel like I haven't always been the most open person on my YouTube channel, and that's not intentional. It's more so like I only have this many hours of the week to do this. I work full time. I'm married. I have family, other things going on, photography, and I just sit down, do the video, edit it, put it out, and I'm done. I'm like, okay, check. But this time, this year, I just want to do some different things. I want to feel closer to you guys, and I feel like this is gonna help me do that. I know some of you have said that over on Patreon, I'm a little bit more unhinged and a little bit more myself in comparison to like these types of videos. This is gonna be less of a production and more of a friendly chat every week. So I hope you are as excited as I am. But wow, what an opening to the first weekly vlog. I just kind of word vomited there. I apologize, but hopefully that gives you a little bit more insight into my intention for finally wanting to do weekly vlogs. But I'm hoping to kick off these vlogs on Thursdays or Fridays. I will vlog Saturday. I will most likely take Sundays off from vlogging. Sundays are like my #1 days that I like to rest, recharge, recoup, spend time with Jesus or family or whatever I feel like I need to do to kind of recharge from the last week. So Sundays I probably will not be vlogging quite as much, but Monday and Tuesdays I'm going to be vlogging, Wednesdays as well. Wednesday nights I have my Patreon weekly reading sprints. If you guys are ever interested in that, you can check out my Patreon, but I will probably be editing during those sprints and editing Thursdays as well, wrapping up the video, editing Thursday, putting it out Friday. So that's kind of the schedule I'm trying to keep to be able to make these simple but not overwork myself, if that makes any sense at all. That's kind of my thought process going into this. But for this week's reading, I'm so excited. I'm going to be reading some highly anticipated reads of the year, but I have also been in the mood for some manga lately. So this is gonna be like my mood reading TBR for the week. So in every one of my weekly vlogs, I'm gonna be sharing with you my plans to read for the week, what I'm currently in the middle of. So some of these books I may not even finish in weekly vlogs. Maybe I don't even finish one book at all. I don't know. It's gonna be bookish content regardless, but I'm just gonna go ahead and share with you what I'm currently reading and absolutely loving. This book, when I tell you, this is the fantasy book of the year. I can guarantee it's going to be a Goodreads Choice Award. We'll see if that happens. This book is like none other fantasy I've ever read. This author also wrote The Bridge Kingdom, which I have not read. So this is my first ever book by her. The writing is impeccable. The sprayed edges are impeccable. Like they even match my nails exactly. I don't know if you can see that, but like They match exactly. Did not plan that. But this book is so phenomenal. It's a Viking story about a shield maiden. There's romance, there's high stakes. I mean, this book has been non-stop since the moment I started it. Every single chapter is a cliffhanger. I am on page 130 right now, so we're not very far yet, but I am hoping to finish this within the next week because I'm just eating it up. I have no reason not to finish this one. But another book that I want to pick up this weekend specifically is because Sunday is St. Patrick's Day, and I have none other than Courtney Walsh's new romance, My Lucky Charm. This book is the second in her romance series called A Holidays with Heart series. So this book is following the sister to our main character in the first book, My Phony Valentine, and I am so stoked to jump into this book. If you don't know anything about Courtney Walsh, she writes clean romance, which is usually my preference, unless it's in fantasy. I feel like that's kind of a different story for me. Sarah J. Maas. But her stories are so lighthearted, so sweet, and the side characters are always just as good as the main characters. Like, you just cannot go wrong. This one is a grumpy sunshine about a girl in a bar who just broke up with her, I think, fiance. I think they were engaged. It's New Year's Eve and her friend is trying to convince her to kiss a stranger because she should not be the only person in this bar on New Year's Eve that doesn't kiss someone. So she goes over to this guy at the bar, who of course ends up being the hockey player. And I will give you more thoughts as I actually start this because I'm really excited about it, and I think this has the potential to be another favorite of hers. And then I also have one of my most highly anticipated thrillers of the entire year, Listen for the Lie by Amy Tintera. No, I've never read anything by this author before, but yes, I just know this is going to be 5 stars. And you just read the synopsis and it sucks you in. It's about a best friend who supposedly is accused of killing her best friend, but the main character is getting followed by a podcast, and I've heard the audio actually has like those podcast like narration sounds and elements to it, and she doesn't even remember if she killed her best friend or not. So apparently the twist is pretty good, and I'm really excited to start this one. I am debating on if I want to start this one this week or not, so we'll just follow the mood and see what happens. And I also have a book that I'm continuing to read with my sister, my friend Ashley that's here local to me, Kendall's local to me, you guys know her, and also my friend Elizabeth, which you guys know. We have been reading together Untangle Your Emotions by Jenny Allen. This is a Christian nonfiction book about your emotions and feelings, what to do with them, how to process them, what Jesus says about them, what the church says about them, all of those different things. And we are currently 4 chapters in, so not very far, but I can tell you this book, like all of her other books, has been absolutely mind-blowing for me. I'm the type of person that knows how to stop and kind of process and get to the root of why I'm feeling what I'm feeling, but when it comes to what do I do with those feelings, and usually that ends up with me playing scenarios over and over in my mind about what I wish I could have said or what I wish I could have done in certain scenarios. But I want to stop that cycle of thinking, and I want to see what Jenny has to say about it. She is well balanced in science as well as what the Bible says, and I'm just really excited to dive more into this. So I usually read 2 chapters a week. I'll probably read my 2 chapters. Just really excited to continue and have some good chats with friends about this one. But I've also been really in the mood for manga lately, and 2 that are on my radar is Cat and Gamer, which is a slice of life manga about a girl who lives alone and she just adopts this cat. She's a gamer and it looks super cute, so we might read this one at some point. And I also want to continue the Savior's Book Cafe Story in Another World, Volume 3. This one is for romantasy girlies. It's about a girl and she falls in love with this guy, but it's kind of like a forbidden love situation. She owns a bookstore, which is like also a cafe, and it's magical and it's so cute. So if you are starting out with manga, highly suggest this one. But these are going to be my main priority this week, especially these 2. I'm hoping to finish these 2. I will keep you updated throughout the week on what I'm doing, and I will catch you guys later. the weekend. Happy Saturday. I actually just got done filming my spring TBR, which was like 24, 25 books long. I'm super excited to jump into that TBR. I feel like I have such a banger of a reading list this year, and I'm so excited about it. So the room is a little messy right now, and Kendall actually has her Patreon readathon this weekend. She actually does a seasonal readathon, so 4 times a year, and this weekend she is having sprints, so I'm actually about to hop on there in just a minute. But I thought I would share with you guys what I got yesterday. Yesterday was just kind of like a dreary, kind of rainy Friday, and Kendall and I are both introverted people, and sometimes because I work at home, sometimes I don't leave my house like all weekend long, or there will be like a long stretch of 5 days when I realize, oh my gosh, I have not even left my house except for maybe to run out to get grocery pickup. Honestly, sometimes I don't realize it's been that long since I've left my house, so we're trying to keep each other accountable just to go out and just do things together. We just read together and book shopped and got some snacks, and then we went to Red Bull last night, so we just had fun hanging out. I feel like it's good for me to get out on the weekends. We did a little book shopping. I told myself I would not buy a ton of things. I am trying to reel it in because I'm now part of Illumicrate, and I just have like other subscriptions in my computer and things to pay for. So I did get 2 books, and I almost bought these 2 books last time I was in Barnes & Noble, but the first one I got is Never Lie by Frida McFadden. If you guys saw my recent thriller vlog, I read The Housemaid and I gave it 4.5 stars. I asked my friend Rachel, who's read most of her books, like what is her favorite one, and she said this one's her favorite one. So I had to pick this one up, and this one sounds so good. It's about this couple that move into a remote manor that was owned by a psychiatrist at one point. The doctor mysteriously disappears, and then they find like these audio files that I guess maybe uncover the mystery. So this one sounds incredible. I also got the Newland Painter, Happily Never After. I don't know much about this one, but I do know I've wanted to try one of her adult books, so I'm really excited about this one. Their name, The Objectors. Their job, to break up weddings as hired. Their dilemma, they just might be in love with each other. So this does not sound like the typical like wedding romance setting. This is actually a very tiny book, so I thought that was interesting, but I think this will probably be my first adult book I read by her. I also finally have in my hands one of my most anticipated thrillers of the year, and that is The Clinic by Kate Quinn. Kendall ended up with 2 copies, and so she gave me this copy, and this is actually a chunker. It's like 425 pages long. That's kind of crazy. From what I remember, this girl has a sister that was at some type of mental institute, so she goes undercover to figure out like what happened to her sister or something like that. But it sounds really good and unique. I love that type of setting, and I think this one is just gonna really hit those tropes that I really love. And I also have some book mail from some publishers that I've gotten recently, just in the past couple days, that I thought I would share with you guys. These are some really fun books. I don't know how I finally got on Orbit's fantasy list, but I'm so excited. But the first thing I got is Rhythm and Clues by Olivia Black. I read this first one in this cozy mystery series. I forget what it's called, but it's at like a record shop slash cafe, and they're sisters that own it, and I didn't love the first one, but I could be swayed to read the second one, and this one just looks super cute. So I might end up getting to this one sometime soon because it's been a while since I've read a good cozy. I also got an arc of Bless Your Heart by Lindy Ryan. This one says, such a brilliant blend of banter and dread. Lindy Ryan is on fire with this book, and that was blurred by Josh Mallerman. This sounds like one of those books that's like dark comedy or dark humor. So it sounds like these Evans women are part of a family that own a funeral parlor and something crazy happens. So this sounds very like Grady Hendrix-ish. So I'm really excited about this one. Apparently a lot of people are looking forward to it. I also have a new Fae fantasy book that a lot of people are stoked for, and a lot of people I've seen already read whose opinion I trust, and that is A Feather So Black by Lyra Celine. This is such a chunky spooky fantasy book, but I'm so excited. It says, a changeling marked by magic, a princess bound by a curse, a fae lord with a dark secret, a kingdom on the brink of war. But it says for fans of Sarah J Maas, Holly Black, and Hannah Witten. I'm very eager to get to this one as well. And then I have The Hemlock Queen by Hannah Witten, which I have not read. Foxglove King, I do own it, and it sounds kind of like a dark romance and a little bit different or spooky. There's skulls on the cover. Long live the sainted king, long reign the poison queen. Personally, I like kind of darker gothic stories, so this really could be one that I fall in love with. And I also bought 2 books for myself that I had wanted to buy when I went into Barnes & Noble last week at some point, but of course they didn't have them. So I just bit the bullet and bought them from Amazon. The first one is Frida McFadden's Ward D, and this has been the #1 book that I've been intrigued by, and I actually read this in 2 days. So I ditched my whole TBR I talked about at the beginning of my video, and I actually read this one. I read like 3/4 of it yesterday, so I will get to my opinions about this one in just a second. But I also got Heartless Hunter because everybody has been talking about this one and I cannot find it in stores. I checked a couple different Barnes & Noble. They said their warehouse is even out of stock, so they couldn't order it for me. And apparently this is like the best fantasy some people have read in a long time. It's about a witch and a witch hunter, but it's like a high stakes romantasy, and it has Regency vibes as well. So it does remind me a little bit of Serpent and Dove. I had to buy it because I don't know where this book is gonna go or what they're gonna do with it, but I thought it would be really cool to have like a first run edition. So I'm very excited that Amazon actually had this because I was a little bit nervous. I also have a couple other fun bookish things to share with you that I got in the mail. So we're just doing a whole like mini book haul situation here, but I ordered from my friend Rachel. If you guys don't know, she used to be Happy Go Lovely Sleeves and she's now Bestie Book Sleeve, and I love the name. It's so adorable. She even renamed all her different sizes. I always have a code LIVE10 or just LIVE. Try either one of those because I can't remember right now, but if you guys love these sleeves or you don't own book sleeves or you want some new ones, check her out. I promise she has such a big variety and you will never be disappointed with the quality. But one I've been eyeing for a long time, and I don't know how I didn't own this one already, is the Taylor Swift Evermore sleeve. This one is the biggest maxi size, and I like owning all of Taylor Swift's sleeves because they're just like comfort book sleeves for me, and I don't know how I didn't own this one. So I ended up getting this one, and then I also got this cute little bookmark corner, which I don't know if you guys know, but she also sells these little bookmarks and it just sits on your book. She recently had a new bow collection come out, and I think it's so cute how kind of like these cottagecore vintage bows are kind of becoming a thing. It's not necessarily my fashion style, but I think they're super cute. And look at this one. It has so many different types of bows. It's very feminine. It's very pink. I don't actually own anything like this. This is just a little taste of what she usually sells. And then I had to share the most exciting thing I've gotten in a long time. I don't know if it's necessarily exciting to all of you, but I have loved novel wick candles for years. I have known Murphy and her business for forever, like since I first started Bookstagram, and she had a Sarah J Maas drop and asked if I wanted a candle, and I said absolutely yes. Like, this is a dream come true for me because I love her candles. They're beautiful. I don't know which specific candle she sent me, so I thought we could open this together. Okay, on the top we just have a little card with some care instructions, and ooh, yeah, this is some of her artwork, and I guess these are her dates to know, which some of these I think have already passed, but this is like the Mass March thing she has going on. And then I also have Olivia 10 for a discount if you guys are interested. Oh my gosh, she sent me 2. Oh my gosh, this is so sweet. Oh my word, I'm so excited right now. Oh my word, this is beautiful. Okay. Look at this blue, you guys. Is that not beautiful? And this one is the Night Court. Love that. Oh my gosh. So this one is supposed to smell like Black Sea. And the best part about these, not only the smell, look at that glitter. Do you guys see the top of that? That is just crazy. And these are all woodwick too. Oh my gosh, I haven't had a woodwick in so long. I love the crackling sound they make. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? This is like one of my favorite colors of all time. In case you can't tell, I'm kind of wearing it. It's like this beautiful like greenish blue, and this one's hilarious. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. This is stunning. It says amber, patchouli, and vetiver? I don't know what that's supposed to smell like, but oh, it smells like cinnamon. Look at that light blue glitter with the green. It's so pretty, you guys. Look at how pretty these are together. The blues and the this is so pretty, y'all. I can't. This is absolutely stunning. So like I said, if you guys are interested at all, check out her website because she has favorite author candles. She does all different stuff, so definitely keep checking in. Follow her on Instagram. Now for the moment you've all been waiting for, the reading update. Like I said, I ditched my TBR to read this, and I read this so fast I didn't even vlog it. Like, this book, I'm telling you, if you've read Frida's books before, you know that they are like candy. Think of your favorite candy. It's like addicting popcorn or addicting sour Skittles or just any type of food that you just cannot stop eating. That is her books. I will say right off the bat, I was loving the first like 100 pages of this book. We basically have our main character who is a medical student who gets assigned an overnight stay at the psychiatric ward. And right off the bat, she's terrified. This is not her realm of the medical field she wants to be in. I think she wants to actually be a surgeon or something, but she is not looking forward to this. And then not only that, but her ex-boyfriend is there on call with her. He wasn't supposed to be there. Her friend was supposed to be there with her. And so that's already like sketchy and weird. They're supposed to interview different patients and just kind of learn their tics and who they are and just more about the mental conditions that they have. There's also this really strange seclusion room where she keeps hearing banging and someone trying to escape. And I don't want to say any more than that because I feel like it's just gonna give it away. I was hoping for some things to be a little bit more believable, but some parts I felt like I was watching a gimmicky horror movie and it wasn't a good time. Like, I just wasn't enjoying it near the end. But like I said, the first half of the book was so much fun because you actually go back in the past 8 years ago and learn more about this girl named Jade, who was our main character's best friend. Back then, our main character Amy was seeing this little blonde girl with kind of like a pinafore dress that would keep popping up and telling her things. And so Amy was concerned that she's seeing things, but then her friend Jade is also acting kind of weird. But I think I am going to land on 3 stars for this one, which was kind of unexpected. I was hoping to at least give it 4, but like I said at the end, I predicted almost everything that was happening, which is not necessarily bad. It's kind of satisfying. I wanted it to feel more real, and that's not to say I didn't feel the emotions of the scary things that our main character Amy was feeling. There was something about it that felt really unrealistic. Maybe because I've watched too many medical shows. I liked the best friend element. I thought the ex-boyfriend thing, like the romance, was just completely pointless. It was really crazy and weird, and I don't know if I liked it. So that's what I'm settling on, is a 3-star. Wasn't the worst book I've ever read, but also didn't really live up to the housemaid for me. But anyways, my plans for the rest of the weekend are to join Kendall's sprints. I am trying to get my spring TBR up tomorrow, so I'm going to be editing a lot tonight. We'll see if I check in tomorrow because I like to keep Sundays where I don't have to be on in front of a camera or get ready, and I can just relax and catch up on reading and, you know, just all of that good stuff. Do some cleaning, whatever it is. So I will check in with you guys when I see you next. Hi friends, I thought I would show you what I'm making for dinner tonight, but my husband is a very picky eater. He does not eat leftovers, and then we end up wasting a bunch of food because I don't want to eat the leftovers either sometimes. So this is about the 3rd meal kit box we've tried called Home Chef. This is not sponsored or anything. I'm literally just sharing what I'm making, and I think this is going to be one of my favorite meals. But we've tried HelloFresh in every plate, HelloFresh is a little bit, I think, too expensive. Their ingredients are really good. We've tried every plate and their produce was like terrible. Like some of their produce would come already rotten, or like it would go bad within 2 days. And what I love about Home Chef, which is what we've been using, is it actually gives you how many days you should cook it within. Typically you still want to go ahead and put all the meat in the freezer until you're ready to use it, but this is what we're making tonight. It's called spicy chicken taquitos with sour cream and pico de gallo. Does that not just look amazing? I cannot wait. And there's just a few quick steps. Another favorite, which I did get chicken with because you can also customize these meals, is this cheesy baked spinach rigatoni. So we added chicken to that and it was just really yummy. I think you can get free discounts on your first couple boxes, which is what I'm doing, but then I just keep my favorites, buy the ingredients and double the quantity, and then we have meals if we actually do feel like leftovers or whatever. I feel like I'll probably share more of like my eating habits because I eat a lot of vegan, I eat a lot of dairy free, and even though this isn't dairy free, I usually figure out a way to kind of make a dairy free rendition, or sometimes I risk it and regret it later. It's just making me experiment with foods I don't typically try, so that is also another thing. If you have a picky eater in your house, I feel like this is a good way to also try out some new meals. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and make these and grab some dinner and get back to reading. vlog update for you because it is now Tuesday evening and today marks a very special day because today is the day that a year ago I started my Patreon, and I actually can't believe a full year has passed since I created that little community. But I'm just so incredibly grateful to everyone that has stayed over there since day one and stuck it out with me and kind of seen the growth of different things that I've tried doing over there and just the whole reorganization and reimagining and creativity that goes on over there. I feel like my creativeness kind of comes and goes, and I've kind of figured out what I can manage with working full-time as well as YouTube and then Patreon as well. We just have the best time over there. So tonight, instead of my weekly sprints being Wednesday night, we are actually doing sprints tonight, which is going to be super fun, kind of like in celebration of that 1-year anniversary. And I'm going to be having Julie and Sarah join me. They are patrons, and this will actually be the first time I've had like my patrons join me for a live stream, which I'm super excited about. But what I've had going on the past 2 days and why I haven't vlogged is honestly yesterday after I came home from work. Monday and Wednesdays are my in-office days, and those days I literally come home, make dinner, and I crash. I'm reading, I'm working out, I'm cleaning. But last night I came home, cooked dinner, and I finally was able to sit down and watch the movie Damsel with Millie Bobby Brown. I watched it with my friend Kendall and it was just so incredible. I will say it wasn't like Lord of the Rings budget, and it wasn't like super crazy with the plot or anything, but it was simple, it was cute, it was giving all like the fantasy dragon vibes, and there's definitely some gory crazy parts. So if you're a fantasy lover, or even if you're not, it was just super fun. It was a super fun movie. I'd probably give it like a 7 out of 10. So that's finally out and I loved it, even though I took forever to finally watch it. Can definitely recommend that one. I also did read a little bit last night, and I did read a little bit on Sunday, but like I said, Sundays are just like my veg whatever I'm feeling kind of days. Didn't do a whole lot of reading on Sunday, but I have been getting kind of back into gaming because I now have a PC that can handle games. And if you go on Steam and look at their library, their catalog, they are almost always running a sale, and they've been running a spring sale on the Little Nightmares series. And I started one last weekend and I knew I was close to beating the game. They're just short little stories. You can basically beat them in 8 to 10 hours or something like that, but I finished that one and I actually jumped straight into the second one because it was like $7 or something. So I started that one, and the graphics, I know that game is still a couple years old, but it is amazing. The mechanics are kind of like Mario, where it's very simple. You can push and pull things, you can jump around, but number 2 is so scarier than 1. I actually had to stop playing it because I was like, I am actually gonna have nightmares. I guess it is full-on horror now that I think about it, but I've played other things like Phasmophobia before, and that's a little bit more like 100% in the horror genre. But this is just kind of cute, kind of fun. I love the mechanics of the game. It's simple, it's mindless, but I've been addicted to that lately. So that has been taking some of my reading time away from me, and I feel like I'm falling in a slump. And I think it's because I've been reading so many amazing thrillers lately, and I just want like something simple, something easy to just be able to finish in like a couple days. But what I did read on Sunday, just as like a palate cleanser to make me feel productive that like I actually finished a book, was I did end up picking up this cute manga called Cat and Gamer. I decided to rate it 4 out of 5 stars because it was pretty simple. It wasn't anything like groundbreaking or that would be like a favorite of all time, but it was so incredibly cute. Every person that is a cat owner has to read this. The main girl character in this is so relatable. She never works overtime, which I'm not technically allowed to work overtime even if I wanted to, but she's an introvert, she's a gamer, and I feel like our personalities are just like the exact same. Basically, the way she gets this cat is one of her coworkers finds the cat in the parking lot and puts it in a cardboard box, walks around the office and is like, hey, does anybody want this little kitten? And she has no idea how or why she said it, but she's like, me, I'll take the cat. And so she's freaking out. She's never owned an animal before, and so it's just really funny to see her freak out like over fleas and rush her to the emergency vet right before they close. But it's funny that she refers to different things in gaming terms, like when she took the cat to the vet, she called it a quest, and it's really nerdy but just a really fun time. She called the cat toy like the golden sword or something. I don't even know, but it's really quirky. It's really cute. The art style is just very lovable, and I love also that after each chapter we actually get a bonus chapter which is from the cat's perspective. So everything that went on in the actual chapter is from the girl's perspective, but then the bonus chapter is the cat's, and it's so funny. I love it. I feel like any person that is a cat owner is going to relate to a lot of the cat's personality and the way he reacts to certain things. It's adorable. I love it. I will definitely be picking up more from this series. And what I really love about this is this manga is actually inspired by the author's cat, which is so cute. There's like a little picture of him at the end. So I was successful with this and also reading my Jenny Allen book for the week, and I've been picking up my Lucky Charm here and there. I am really loving this. If you've read a Courtney Walsh before, you know it is full of just those cute, fluffy feelings. The way the characters flirt is just so much more mature and just very thought out and thoughtful. My Phony Valentine was a lot funnier in my opinion, and we got a lot more from the side characters. In this story, we're getting a lot more of the hockey sports talk than we did the first one. The biggest thing that I really love about the topic in this book is, of course, it's Grumpy Sunshine. Our main character's name is Gray, and he obviously has had a really hard life with his dad, a really hard, interesting relationship with him, because his dad has put so much pressure on him to be a perfectionist that now when Gray isn't perfect and doesn't do everything right, he beats himself up. I've never heard anything more relatable in my life. Not that my parents pressured me to be a perfectionist, but they were always forcing me to strive hard and constantly be productive and work towards the next thing and constantly have these big goals in life. And you know what? Sometimes it's okay to not have that. Sometimes it's okay to live in the moment. So I think it's interesting how she's kind of taking that childhood trauma or relationship, as you will, and weaving it into this character. Okay, I promise this is not going to be like a full-on book haul vlog constantly, but I did get some more book mail that I am going to show you because this book that I just got is one of my highly anticipated of the year. It's not necessarily a debut, but I think it's the first book that's kind of gained some traction. That is The Hedge Witch of Foxhall. I am so excited. Do you guys see that dragon right here? Like, oh, that's just incredible. That is absolutely stunning. Okay, I'm sold. I want to ditch the rest of my TBR to read this. Look at this stunning green with the gold spine. That is just beautiful. It's screaming spring. I can't wait to read this. This is a book that's set in Wales where the magic is fading, and I think there's a love triangle obviously. And another book that I got from Simon & Schuster that I did not request. I've never seen this before in my life, but hear me out. The buzzword Addie LaRue, or the title, immediately sent me into a like complete obsession with this book already, and I'm gonna read a little bit of the synopsis to you too because I had never heard of this. It has not been on my radar. I haven't seen a single person talk about it, and that is A Short Walk Through a Wild World. Aubrey Torville, a spoiled and stubborn 9-year-old girl, comes across a wooden puzzle ball on her walk home from school. She tosses it over a fence only to find it in her backpack that evening. Days later, at the family dinner table, she starts to bleed to death. When medical treatment only makes her worse, she flees to the outskirts of the city where she realizes that is the very act of movement that keeps her alive. So begins her lifelong journey around the world, constantly on the run from her disease, which won't allow her to stay anywhere more than a few days. So this was not on my radar whatsoever, but I was more than happy to get this in the mail. But anyways, I may or may not update y'all tomorrow. Tomorrow's just a typical in-office work day. They are actually giving us like a free lunch for my English team, which is super nice. But in the morning, I'm going to be going to the eye doctor. It's been about 5 years, at least 4 since I've been. I need new glasses. I need a new prescription because my right eye is super blurry. So I will probably just be reading and chilling, and yeah, I will update you guys whenever I have an update next. Hello besties, I'm back because I finished My lucky charm. Oh my goodness. I feel like last time we talked, I was teetering on a 4 or 5. I feel like gray was not exactly like my favorite male interest compared to the rest of her books, but there was so many cute, adorable moments that obviously changed my mind, as I knew it would, because Courtney Walsh can literally do no wrong. One thing near the end that very much changed my mind on a 5-star for this is it was extremely relatable. Eloise was having a meltdown with some of her sisters near the end. They were trying to calm her down and console her, and it was such a sweet moment. But one of the biggest things that stood out to me is that even though Eloise is going through a romantic relationship in this, I was seeing her talking about just relationships in general, and for me specifically it hit home with friendships, because she talks about in this book how she gives so much to her relationships and other people. She's always the happy-go-lucky person, but then she never receives that love and attention back, and I feel like that is something I struggle with in friendships, and something I've been working through recently is that the people that love you and value you are going to stay, and I just have to be like Eloise and focus on myself, get back to who I am, be the happy person that I know to be, and by being my authentic self, I will attract the types of friendships and relationships that I know that I need. I guess I knew myself all along. It just took a little time for me to accept that who I am is enough, that everyone won't like me, that everyone won't have good intentions, but it turns out loving people is one of my best traits, so I'm going to do it well. I just started tearing up at that part because I could not relate more. I've put myself out on the line, I've put in so much effort with certain relationships, I don't receive it back, and it's hard. It's hard to be the people pleaser in the relationship, the one that initiates, the one that loves the hardest. I saw so much of myself in Eloise, and Courtney Walsh just hit the nail on the head once again with this one. Aside from all the deep stuff, I love that we got a little insight into Chicago, because they even talked about going to Shed Aquarium and doing these activities. They talked about certain roads that I've been on because I grew up near Chicago, and I just love that about Courtney because she's also from Illinois. I love the little twist we got right around the middle. It just enhanced the book and made it so sweet. Definitely read My Phony Valentine because there's 3 sisters. This follows one of the sisters, and I think she said we're gonna get the 3rd book with the 3rd sister at some point this year even, so I'm very curious to see like what holiday she's going to write around that book. So even though I feel like I read a little bit slow this week, I actually feel like I got a lot done because I did finish 3 books. So we finished that one. I flew through this one, like I said, wanted a little bit more from it, but I definitely am going to be reading another Frida McFadden soon. And then I've had this little manga on my radar for so long, don't know why I haven't picked it up, and I decided that this week was the week, and I loved it. I did fit in a couple more pages of Fate Inked in Blood, but I didn't get very far enough to give you any more thoughts because not a lot changed. But I actually don't think I'm going to be vlogging the next week because I have a lot going on over on Patreon. You guys should definitely check out my Patreon. We have like Hunger Games movie nights, a spring readathon, we have a live chat tonight where we're going to hang out on Google Meet. There's just a lot happening, as well as other filming that I need to do. So I will not be vlogging this next week, but I will pick it up again hopefully in the next 2 weeks or so. But I enjoyed this vlog and I hope you guys do too. Like I said, it's not going to be an extremely like consistent thing all the time, but I am hoping to weekly vlog as much as possible. I just want you guys to get to know me. I want to get to know you, and I feel like this is just going to be a more vulnerable way of doing that. And I know some of you have commented on I want more thoughts about the books you're reading, so hopefully this is a good way for you to see that as well. But thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you're as excited as I am to start kind of on these more casual vlogs this year. I hope you have a good week wherever you are. I love you so much, and I will see you in my next video.